It's half-year results time for BP, and as we saw with Shell last week, it is a very good time to be in oil and gas. So firstly, this is the big number that everyone is focusing on. BP's underlying profits, that's once you remove all those one-off costs and investments. It was £6.9 billion in the months of April to June. That is the highest quarterly taking in 14 years. Let's put it in a bit of context. Have a look at this. Compared to the first quarter this year, it's a bit of a jump up, but just look how it compares to the same period of time in 2021. BP tripling its profits in just 1 year. The wider context is important as well. BP says, of course, that all this profit is being reinvested in green initiatives, in energy security, share buybacks and whatnot. But it would also say it is beholden to the market in good times and in bad. And times haven't always been good for BP. Just look what happened in 2020. Those big losses it experienced at the beginning of the pandemic, really struggling to recover. But look, profits now up to significantly more than they were pre-pandemic. And the reason for that, well, it is the spiralling cost of wholesale gas and wholesale oil. Let's just have a look at oil in particular. Look, as you can see, this is the period post-pandemic. It was gradually rising up as demand really returned. But look at that big spike there. That is when the Ukraine war broke out. And although it's fluctuated a bit, it has remained stubbornly high. Now, none of this would be particularly controversial were it not for the fact that at the same time, many families are really struggling to pay their bills. So have a look at this. This is the energy price cap. This is the maximum amount that companies are allowed to charge their customers. First bar is what it was before all this began. Second bar is what it is now, at about £2,000 a year. And just look what is going to happen according to forecast this winter. A massive jump up again, in excess of £3,000 a household, probably according to forecast. But what's really scary about this is not how high the prices are, but how long they're going to endure. Just look what happens when we head into the summer next year, peaking potentially at over £3,600 a family. So lots of discussion about what can be done about this. The Tory leadership contenders, they say things like cuts to VAT, cuts to the green levies. But when you actually break down what these costs are made up of, look, that red bit, most of it is made up from that wholesale cost. The smaller bars, VAT, policy costs, they are really small comparatively. Now, a windfall tax of 25% has been imposed on the big oil and gas companies. That may help families a bit, but in the face of numbers like these, there are many who say it simply doesn't go far enough.